I want to take the moment to talk about the velocity on your breaking ball and the speed differential between that and your fastball. I think a lot of players, especially younger players, high school and college age, they struggle with having a firmer breaking pitch and really having that late sharp bite to it. I know for me personally, when I was in college, my fastball wasn't anything special, low to mid 80s. And my breaking ball was typically 70, 72, and I didn't really have anything that was in that 77 to 80 range that could really give me a little extra advantage by having a sharper breaking pitch that looks more like my fastball out of the hand. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, and it really wasn't until this last year of pro ball where I really started to develop a sharper breaking ball and really had a true slider rather than just the slow, loopier breaking ball. Now, the breaking ball, the slower one, it obviously serves a purpose. I think of guys like Clayton Kershaw. He's got that 12-6 curveball that is in the low to mid 70s with his low 90s fastball. But he also has that sharp, late breaking slider that he throws a good amount of the time in the 86, 87 range. And I just think having that pitch just allows so many more options. The slower breaking ball, especially if you're at the lower levels, and your breaking ball isn't as sharp and your fastball velocity isn't as high, I think good hitters can make adjustments to it, especially as you get up into college and professional baseball. I just think having that late sharp breaking ball helps a lot. And for me, what I started to develop this offseason was I started off trying to develop a cutter, and it ended up just turning into a slider and ended up being my best pitch. And I kept it really simple. All I thought about was throwing my four-seam fastball, so I had my typical four-seam grip, and all I did was put my fingers together and shift the ball slightly in my hand. And from there, all I thought about doing was throwing it as hard as I could right through my target. And it really took out the work of, okay, I got to really get around it with my wrist, because that's whenever I did that, I always thought I had to do that when I was younger. I always thought I had to really get around it to get that break. And really what it did for me is it just made it slow and loopy. And all that, just by having this grip off-centered and throwing it as hard as I could, I got the action on the ball I wanted, because your hand's naturally going to do a little bit of this. It's going to shift naturally a little bit. You don't have to think about trying to torque on it a lot. And that's really what took my game to the next level, and I started to get a lot more swing and misses with my breaking pitch, because in professional baseball or even in college baseball, you throw that slower breaking ball enough, hitters can start to make adjustments to it, especially second, third time they see it, they can start to see it a little bit better and at least foul it off or make some sort of adjustment. And and by having both of those, now that I started to get that harder slider, I found that my slower one was more effective because they couldn't tell right out of the hand which was which. So that's just something I want you guys to think about. Just start to develop and think about getting a harder breaking ball and see how that works for you. And you'll find that when you first start throwing it, especially if you're used to having a lot of break with your wrist, you're going to have to really focus on throwing it down to your glove side. So for me, being a left-handed pitcher, I really think about throwing it down and into a righty as hard as I can. And from there, once I master that, then I can start to work outside and work different parts of the plate. But I really think by focusing on throwing it down into the glove side, it's going to force you to stay on top of the ball, and you're going to get the rotation that you want. So as always, thanks for listening, guys. And if you're looking to get a Mark Pro, use my discount code GSP5. You'll save 5% on that. They're a great product. I really enjoy using it for recovery and also as a warm-up tool. So if you're interested in that, they also have a payment plan, because I know they can be a little bit pricey, but the payment plan allows it to be a little bit more realistic and allow you to pay month to month. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Thanks, guys.